Hello, good morning, everyone. We are now on the third episode of the research webinar series, and we have already produced lights as the what of action research was introduced during the first episode. We also have looked through the lens of the camera as the second episode talks about the process of action research. Today, we're showing action as we get started on the action research. Our dear participants, kaya pa po ba? Kinakaya at talagang kakayanin. To start, let us all stand for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem and a prayer to be led by Sir Ronald Scandor.
Bayang mag-idiw, pero sa silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dilim mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisigil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bagaw, may bilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidingding, ang bituin at araw na kailan pa may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng buwan ating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Almighty God, our Father, we praise and thank you for this day. You have given us another opportunity to appreciate life and to fulfill our mission as your instruments of peace and progress. Please pardon us for our shortcomings. Help us to amend our impieties. May we learn to pattern our lives through your Son's example. Father, bless all our endeavors, especially today's webinar. Guide us in our discussions. Enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your grace that we may effectively do our parts as your servants. Bless our plans and projects that we may achieve our objectives for your greater glory. All these we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, sir. It is really good to start the activity imploring the aid of Almighty God to fulfill its purpose. Likewise, we would also like to thank the SDO Masbate Province key officials for the full support, to our school's division superintendent, Ma'am Nene Marioles, our assistant schools division superintendents, Sir Raymondo Cantonhos and Sir Mel Tongko, and to our Chief Education Supervisors, Ma'am Maria Dorothy L. Daniel and Sir Mark Anthony H. Rupa. Good morning po. Hope you are all well today. And of course, the DepEd Bicol Region Policy Planning and Research Division also extends its support. Ladies and friends, let us lend our ears to the Education Program Supervisor, Madam Helen R. Monreal. Madam?
Warmest greetings to SDS Nene Armerioles, ASDS Dick Tongko, ASDS Raimundo M. Cantojos, CID Chief Ma'am Dorothy Daniel, SGOD OIC Chief Mark Anthony Rupa, SEPS Cheryl Bermundo of the Planning and Research Division of Masbate Province, and of course the Masbate Research Enthusiast. Good morning. Organization like our school's division office plays an important role in this quest, providing any means of platforms for all governance level to perform research studies that would contribute in elevating the standards and quality of education in every Filipino learner. In support of the department's policy development progress, research agenda, policy and program development implementation, the Department of Education continuously promotes and strengthens the culture of research in basic education. The strategy is built on the gains in evidence-based decision-making from various education reforms or initiatives to improve the research mechanism. In this time of revitalization, everyone in this department, our DepEd home, empower every teaching and non-teaching staff with the indispensable knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes to be of service to build an even and equitably progressive DepEd. May this telecon gathering open an avenue for greater opportunities for progress for teachers, non-teaching, and even the students, especially now that we have this health crisis or the pandemic caused by COVID-19. And let us all begin to search an appropriate methodologies, strategies, and approaches in the delivery of the teaching and learning process, may it be inside or outside the classroom that we are used to have. May your association remain unwavering in leading schools and institutions of Masbate province towards love for research and inspiring others to harness their potential and take part in forming qualitative researches. This opportunity comes at a juncture in our country's account when the standards of positive transformation are splendid. May you withstand the cooperation with our DepEd's agenda of enabling us to the stellar future that we all deserve. May you have an engaging and insightful gathering. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Halen. Kumusta po dyan sa Bicol mainland po?
Ay, maganda po, Sir Mark. Ay, sorry, Sir Paul. Maganda po dito, although marami po ang aming COVID positive simula kahapon. But we can still be, kumbaga okay pa rin naman. DepEd Region 5 is very well.
Ay, thank you for that, ma'am. So also here in DepEd Masbate, we are trying our best to be well despite po na halos number 3 na po kami in the Bicol region in terms of the number of COVID cases. Ma'am, before po you go offline, can we ask po some kumbaga encouragement po to our teacher participants who are watching live today po in relation to the conduct of action research po?
Sure. Good morning, research enthusiasts of province of Masbate. As I said a while ago, we are so, in behalf of RD Gilbert Tisadsad, ARD Amin, our Chief Sir Roy, we are so happy that you have that initiative to do this kind of webinar na kahit papaano si research ay lagi natin binibigyan ng importansya. In other words, we really have to to bank on this kind of activities para naman kahit papano we can help DepEd realize some of the programs that we can strengthen through researches. I am so happy na kahit sa ganitong panahon, pandemic tayo, pero wala pa rin sa ating ang pagdadalawang isip na gumawa ng ganitong adhikain para sa lahat. And I would like also to emphasize this, ang research po hindi lang siya sa teachers. Ini-encourage din namin yung non-teaching staff ng ating SDO na gumawa din ng research. It can be an action research, it can be a basic research. Research in depth is for everybody.
Ayun. Yes po, ma'am. Thank you for that. So research is really for everybody. So for the information of everyone, Ma'am Halen po is ano po, active po in terms of the research initiatives in the Bicol region. So siya po yung sa latest ano po namin basic research, siya po yung palaging nagre-remind for us to really finish our research undertaking. Thank you, ma'am, for that. And for sure, our teacher researcher participants today are more inspired and motivated to have at least action research proposals.
Thank you, Sir Paul. Looking forward checking their results probably before the year ends. See you then.
Apo,
Thank you, Sir
ma'am.
Paul.
Thank you so much po. May God bless you more, ma'am. Okay, ayun po. So that was Ma'am Halen from DepEd Bicol Region PPRD or Policy Planning and Research Division. Okay, of course, we are now on the third episode, and we believe that in the past two episodes, you have got something out of them. And to refresh us from of those episodes, we have Ma'am Melody Vargas to have the management of learning. Ma'am Meds?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Lucky are those within the confines of their homes, while others are, mobilizing all the resources just to search for signals, stable signals, in fact, just to attend to this third series of the webinar for action research. Yesterday was a very productive intellectual battle. Grabe po ang putukan bagan usad na series sa usad na episode rather sa series sa Marawi Siege. But I am certain that you enjoyed yesterday because you have a parade of questions, and I am sure that today you will also have a parade of questions. So let's see today if something important has been retained in your minds just by checking the important things that you should remember. And we'll see if you really can remember. So we prepared only two important questions. And secret lang anay kung may papremyo. Secret lang basta kay inay we hope that you will answer. Ayan, may pa-prize nga po talaga. Oh my God. Sana po kami kaya din namin sumagot para may premyo din po kami. So let's start with the first question. So Miss MJ, as our technical master, will be the one to have the winner. Ano po? Okay, let's have the first question. And the first question is, what is the first D in the 5D action research process model? Go, go, you answer. Go, go, go. D. In the 5D action research process model, the first. Okay? Ayan. Tuloy-tuloy po ang papremyo dahil po ang acknowledgement copy ng ating author ay ipinamimigay na rin po niya ngayon. Kasi ang mga susunod pong prints ay may bayad na, syempre, dahil may bayad din po ang publishing company. And we have the winner for today. It's teacher Jocelyn Aragon. Congratulations, ma'am. The correct answer is D10. As to the first D in the 5D model. Okay, let's continue. Get ready, everyone. Make sure that you are in a strong signal so that you can answer. Anyway po, sabi po sa Globe, aayuho na daw nindan signal amo man and smart. So magales na daw ang requirements and LGU. Kaya may strong na signal ta. The next question. How will you describe the action research process? Go. How will you describe the action research process? Yan. Okay. Yan. Your answers, please. Answers. We are looking for the exact answer. Exact answer. And okay. Ayan. Yes, and the first to hit the correct answer, exactly. The right answer is congratulations to Ma'am Marites Cabintoy. The correct answer is cyclical or spiral. Ayan. So, wala na po kitang patara-tara for today. Kay naubos po kahapon. Sige, mamaya na lang po ang mga kung ano-ano. But today, I am saying good luck to everyone. Keep safe. What's this? Wherever you are. And I hope that you are going to to finish the presentation and to get the important gist of the topic for today, because you will really be required to submit an action research proposal and it should be approved. Okay pa? So good morning once again. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much po, Ma'am Melody, for the management of learning. So wala nang patara-tara, pero we were able to note po, post by one of our participants yesterday, Sir Rolly Sinagpulo. So he had posted yesterday a fast talk. Action research po ba daw na pinasasakit ang ulo mo or jowa na pinasasakit ang puso mo? Sige po, tingnan po natin ano po ang pipiliin ng ating mga teacher participants. Action research o jowa? Pwede both. And likewise, we would like to have this to shout out to Ma'am Weng Baldeo of Federico A. Estipona Memorial High School. Belated happy birthday po, Madam. May God bless you more and keep safe po. For sure, Ma'am Weng is really very supportive in terms of conducting action researches and basic researches. So kaya po ang mga teachers sa dida sa PAEMS, please prepare your action research proposals. Kaya hanapon na po ni Ma'am Che na proposal. Sige po. And also, may mga dalawang hashtag dito. Hashtag I love research and hashtag research pa more. That only tells us that our teacher researchers are energized and motivated to go on. We still have two other episodes, and they are energetic and motivated. And speaking of energy and motivation, our senior education program specialist for planning and research have them. We will have her for the introduction and discussion of episode 3. Ma'am Che?
Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to the third episode of our Action Research Webinar Series 2020. Okay, so to our Dynamic Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Neni R. Merioles, SO5, to our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Sir Mel and Sir Nong, and of course to our CID Chief, Ma'am Dorothy L. Daniel, and to our OIC Chief, Sir Mark Anthony Rupa, to all the supervisors and teaching and non-teaching staff of SDO Masbate Province, to all our viewers and participants to this series, a pleasant morning to all of you. Medyo maulan, but I hope malakas pa rin ang signal because we will be dealing with a very important episode this morning. Okay? So, also, I would like to express my gratitude and appreciation with the presence of our beloved Education Program Supervisor from the Regional Office, PPRD, Ma'am Helen Monreal. Thank you so much for gracing our third episode. I know that Ma'am Helen is very enthusiastic in terms of producing more action researches in every division. And hopefully, Ma'am Helen, this initiative, yung bagong initiative natin ngayon, the way of capacitating teachers along research, hopefully it will produce more researches so that we'll be able to give feedback to our department, most especially now that we are facing this pandemic na lahat tayo ay hindi preparado, but then as part of the demand, we need to cope with the challenges, and this is our way of coping with the challenges of the time. So thank you so much, Ma'am Helen, and to all of you who are very eager to learn more about action research, I would tell you, you are on the right track of pursuing professional growth in this department. Okay? So before we proceed with the discussion on the third episode, okay, let us have first again an overview, a review of the outline of our series so that you will be guided, most especially yung mga ngayon lang nakapasok dahil sa signal o kung ano man. So let us have a review on the episodes of the different of this webinar series. Okay? Saan na ba tayo as of now? Okay. So the first episode is all about the what of action research. We're done with that. And yesterday, we discussed about the action research process, and I am very happy that you were able to give the correct answer when we asked how will you describe action research process, and you answered cyclical, or another correct answer is spiral. So that is really the best description that we can give to action research because that's the thing that makes it different from other types of researches. Okay? And also this morning, we are now in the third episode and we are going to have getting started in action research. As I have said yesterday, the first and the second episode are just preliminaries. We are just preparing you for the right shop, and we are happy to see with the monitoring and evaluation result your responses when I ask for a practical question, a practical problem, then most of you were able to give me a very specific and doable, or yes, a very specific practical problem that you encounter as a classroom teacher, which is very important because that particular practical problem that you have identified will be used by you in this episode. Okay? So, I am really happy na karamihan sa inyo ay naintindihan kung ano ang nature ng action research and of course the action research process. The next episodes will be very easy for you because you have that clear understanding as how to attack your practical problem following the action research process. Okay? So, yeah, the fourth is the how of action research. That will be on the fourth episode, and evaluating action research proposal on the fifth episode. Okay, our objectives: develop knowledge and skills in conducting action research among teachers and educators. Yes, nasa process pa tayo nito. Then, understand what action research is, its characteristics, uses, and limitations. Check na tayo dyan. Differentiate action research from other kinds of research studies. Check na din. Understand action research process. Big check. Kahapon yan. And another objective is demonstrate an understanding of how to use action research as an approach to improve your teaching. To measure if you can demonstrate already your understanding, that will depend on the output that you will be submitting. Okay? And so our objective, one of the objectives that we will be targeting for this episode is for you to be able to identify researchable topics in your own classrooms or school. And today, in this third episode, you will be designing your action research plan. Okay? So hopefully, tapos na kayo sa detect, na-identify nyo ng problem, kaya nga nakasagot na kayo kahapon sa form that you were able to identify your practical problem. That's the first D in the 5D action research model, detect or diagnose. You identify your problem. And so this morning, we will start designing or creating your plan for your action research plan in order to address that practical problem that you have identified. Okay? So, hopefully, okay pa kayo dyan. Although, as of now, we have 468 viewers, but we do understand that most of you are facing with your challenge with your internet connection, but then the episode and the videos, the video materials again, you can access all of those para maging guide ninyo later in our YouTube channel, Planning and Research, SDO Masbate Province. Okay? So, ready na ba kayo for the discussions? Okay? So, with that, let's now have our third episode.
Hello everyone! Welcome to the third episode of our Action Research Webinar Series 2020. Lights, Camera, Action, Research. Your participation in this episode is an indication of your willingness to learn more about action research despite the COVID-19 pandemic. But the question is, why conduct action research amidst pandemic? We do conduct action research because we see a problem or issue related to our work as a teacher. This pandemic brought more concerns ranging from what modality is best applicable to our respective schools or locality, learning materials that we will be using, how do we reach out our learners and motivate them to continue schooling despite the odds. How shall we be able to ensure that our learners will acquire the most essential learning competencies and a lot more? Action research is always anchored on the practical problem. And for sure, this school year 2020-2021, we will be confronted with various problems that may possibly be addressed systematically through research, specifically action research. Getting started in action research. At the end of this episode, you shall be able to identify researchable topics in your own classrooms or schools. As we continue, you will be guided in formulating your action research proposal following the suggested format stated in Debit Order Number 16, Series 2017. This is to facilitate the preparation and evaluation of your proposal later and consequently its approval. Let's start from formulating your action research title. Most believe that this is the first step in crafting a proposal, but it is not. Your initial title remains a working title until you are finally done with your proposal. Now let me give you simplified steps and tips on how to formulate your action research title. Readers of your paper instantly look at the title of your action research. This summarizes the ideas of your study. The initial aim of a title is to capture the reader's attention and to draw his or her attention to the research problem being investigated. A good title predicts the contents of the research paper. It should always contain basic keywords that would make it easier to locate during a keyword search. Your action research title must be something catchy and captivating to the readers, but at the same time includes the basic components such as the issue or problem, the intervention that you will employ to address the problem, and the participants or respondents of the study. Let me give you some examples of a research title and let's check if they contain the basic components that I have mentioned. First example, mental models aid in improving reading comprehension of grade 6 struggling readers. At a glance, the reader can easily understand that the action research is conceptualized to improve the reading comprehension of the grade 6 struggling readers by using mental models. Now, can we identify the focus of the study in this example? Did it summarize the ideas in your study? Can you predict now the contents of the research study? Yes, definitely. By just looking at the title, we are informed that the study will be about using mental models in improving the reading comprehension of the grade 6 struggling readers. Let me give you another one. Improving oral reading fluency of grade 8 students through guided reading strategy. In this example, what is the problem or issue? Yes, oral reading fluency. Who are the participants? The grade 8 students. What is the intervention? Yes, guided reading strategy. Another catchy and innovative title, Struggling Readers Start, Shine Through Acts in Readers Theater to Build Reading Fluency. Again, action research title doesn't need to be formulated and finalized prior to the writing of the proposal. It is completed after you are done with your action research proposal. And now, friends, let us now proceed to the first part of the action research proposal as suggested in Debit Order Number 16, Series 2017. Context and rationale. At this point, you might now be asking yourself, what bothers me in my work as a classroom teacher? What's wrong with what I am currently doing? Am I letting my learners learn and perform better in my class? Are they given appropriate learning activities? Am I effecting change to my learners? Those are just some of the possible questions that you might be asking yourself. Those are things that concern you as an educator. That concern is something that affects you and your teaching learning activities. It is something that you are directly involved with, something under your reach and control. It must not be concern of others. It must not be their practice that should concern you. There are times that you are confused about the scenario you felt is a concern. It is therefore helpful for you to share with your co-teachers, discuss with them your observation, deliberate with them, and then understand together what leads to that phenomenon. It might that your concern is also a concern of your fellow teachers. Once you are convinced that your concern is really something that needs to be addressed, you are now in the right track to pursuing an action research. To further articulate your understanding about the problem, you may review literature. There are conducted studies published or unpublished, which you may use as basis in choosing your strategy to be employed. You may cite some which are closely related to your focus. And now the first step is for you to articulate that concern in the context and rationale of the proposal. This is the introductory part of your paper where you are going to present the problem that you want to address in your action research. Describe the nature and extent of the identified problem, existing facts or data that would clearly support the scenario in your classroom or school would give you more clarity on the need of your study. The historical background of your study is also to be presented in this part. Unsatisfactory conditions felt and perceived causes or triggering factors should also be included. In other words, it is here where you will be writing the why of your study. In the final part, you must be able to establish the connection between the rationale and the study to be conducted. Your desire to have a deeper understanding of the situation, circumstance, or phenomenon that you are confronted with must be clearly presented in this part. The timeliness and relevance of the proposed study should also be emphasized. There is no prescription as to number of words or pages for this part. What would make this part complete is if you were able to discuss the nature, extent, and salient features of your identified problem. Different aspects of the action research settings are elaborated, showing in-depth and critical analysis of the situation. For you to have a clear idea as to how you're going to write your context and rationale, let me give you this example. So if your identified problem is about reading, you may start defining or describing reading as well as the role it plays in teaching and learning process. You may cite the programs, projects, and activities initiated by the Department of Education as a whole. You may include facts and figures whenever applicable. And then you may slowly shift to presenting the issues by stating some data to establish your problem. Then you go more specific. If division-wide data about your problem is available, it would be better. This will help connect the scenario in your school. Eventually, you may now present your own unique problem. You may include description of your observation about the phenomenon. You shift now to the specific practical issue that you want to answer. For example, your issue is about reading comprehension. You may elaborate more about the issue, cite some of your reviewed literature which are closely related to your study. Your discussion must be logically arranged until you are able to surface the issue that you want to address. It is important that you must establish connection between the why of your study to the proposed plan later. Again, context and rationale is the why of your study. Thus, it must contain all the answers as to why there is a need to conduct your study. And the second part of your action research proposal is your action research question. After you determine, define, and describe the problem or situation, you may now think of the aspects of your teaching that needs to be changed, modified, or improved in order to resolve the problem. You may start by writing down statements about your practice, which may be about your teaching strategy, learning materials that you use, classroom management, or your learning environment. Remember to include only those that are under your control. Now that you have narrowed down factors that resulted in your perceived problem, choose a specific practice that you want to change. This will lead you to the specific question that you want to answer in your research project. Basically, you are answering the question, what can I do about my problem? Take note of the word I. Action research is focused on things that you are directly concerned with. Why? Because the main use of action research is improving your own practice. So next, formulate your action research question. Look into the relationship of your perceived problem to your teaching practices. In formulating your research question, consider the following characteristics of a good research question. First, it is important. A good research question is important that it should give light to learners' learning through proper implementation of the curriculum as well as employing effective teaching strategies. This means that it shall benefit primarily your learners being the end users of your efforts. Though emphasized in earlier part that action research aims to improve one's own practice, your own practice, but of course, the learners are the receivers of the effect of your improved practice. Second characteristic, it is actionable. Unclear and vague research question will just bring you anxiety and frustration. A good research question should be focused and specific. It must require action, lead you to do something that would offer improved teaching, learning, interaction. Third, it is meaningful. You conduct action research because you feel that something in your current practice needs to be improved or something is missing. It is therefore imperative that the research question that you'll formulate is meaningful to you as a teacher. It has to be connected to you personally or professionally because as you try to find answers to your research question, you'll be stretched intellectually and effectively. Fourth characteristic, it is manageable. It is important that it can be addressed within the confines of your own classroom. A focused and manageable research question is something within your control and influence, within your means, and most importantly, within your competence. You can only say that you have focused on a specific action research question if you have decided on doable and practicable action, how and when to do it. Elements of an action research question. Furthermore, be guided by the following basic elements of an action research question. First, intervention. The solution, action, innovation, strategy or intervention that you want to employ in order to address the practical issue that you have identified must be clearly stated. Second, participants. The subjects or participants of the research must be included for specificity. And third, outcome. State the expected behavior, performance, or skill as target outcome of the undertaking. Okay? Now let us go through the following examples of an action research question. How does reading comprehension of expository text of struggling readers improve as a result of providing explicit small group instruction for 20-minute periods 2 times per week? In this example, the intervention is explicit small group instruction while the participants are the struggling readers. It can also be noted that the desired outcome or the purpose of the action research is to improve the reading comprehension of expository text. Another example, you may start your action research question with this paragraph. This study aims to reduce the number of learners in frustration reading level from 22 to 0 grade 6 pupils of Masagana Elementary School, school year 2019-2020, through teaching strategies using mental models. Specifically, it will seek answers to the following questions. First, how can the use of mental models in teaching reading reduce the number of learners under frustration reading level? Second, how effective mental models are in reducing the number of grade 6 pupils under frustration reading level? What is the intervention? Use of mental models in teaching reading. Who are the participants? Learners under frustration level. What is the desired outcome? To reduce number of learners under frustration reading level. If your action research question is complete with these basic elements, finding answers to it is clear. The alignment of the succeeding parts of the proposal will be easy. Action research proposal preparation must start with clear action research question anchored on the identified problem articulated in the context and rationale part. We'll now have the third part of the action research proposal, proposed innovation, intervention, and strategy. Describe the action that you will do in order to solve your identified practical problem. A literature review would help you a lot in choosing and deciding on the intervention or strategy to use. Though action research is not conducted to fill the gap in the literature, adapting strategies from literature to solve a similar problem would be helpful. You may also discuss the issue with your co-teachers who experience the same in his or her class. Sharing of thoughts, opinions, and experiences would lead you to better understanding of the problem. Most action researches are reactive, which means that the researchers employ intervention in order to solve a felt problem. With the existing situation as the baseline, you decide on solution. Most of the time, you adopt some strategies proven effective by previous researchers, which you believe will help address your identified problem. Some action researchers are innovative, which means the researcher would like to formulate his or her own strategy as an innovation and would test their effectiveness. Nevertheless, regardless of the nature of the intervention, clearly describe what intervention strategy that will be employed, who will be involved, as well as the activities that will be undertaken. Include also the rationale, extent, and limitation of the intervention, innovation, or strategy. This part generally focus on the what of the action research. Example, as an intervention to the emerging problem on the alarming numbers of learners and frustration level, this study will utilize mental models like pictures and videos as aid on reading comprehension. The participants of the study will be subjected to a daily class session utilizing reading materials with picture counterpart or video counterpart for 1 hour during school days, to be facilitated by the teacher researcher for 3 months. There will be a weekly reading assessments to be conducted using field tools in order to measure the progress of the learners. The weekly progress of the readers and frustration level will be recorded using the tracking of weekly progress template. That ends the third episode of our webinar series 2020. Thank you for watching, and I am inviting all of you to like and follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the YouTube channel of Planning and Research section.
Okay, thank you so much po, Ma'am Che, for presenting the first three of the parts of an action research proposal. So, as a review po, the first one is a context, second, action research questions, and the third, proposed innovation, intervention, and strategy. So, each part was given examples, and for sure, those examples have guided you as to how you're going to write the first three parts of your action research proposal. This time we will be interacting with the participants, of course, with our facilitator, Ma'am Cheryl Bermudo. But before that, kanina po may tanong tayo, fast talk, action research na pinasasakit ang ulo mo or jowa na pinasasakit ang puso mo? Answered by Sir Gerald Refill. Sabi niya, jowa na lang daw basta marunong mag-research. Ayun, talagang pinag-isipang mabuti. Ganon din po si Sir B-Boy Martinez. May jowa na daw siya kaya action research na lang. Wow, sana all. Sige po. Um, it's rainy po today. It's rainy. And siguro po ito sa mga pastuhan, sana po ay safe kayo dyan at hindi kayo nababasa ng ulan. So maraming salamat po talaga sa patuloy na pakikibaka patungo sa improved teaching practices through the conduct of action research. By this time, we believe that Ma'am Cheryl is now ready for your questions. Ma'am Che?
Thank you, Sir PJ. Again, good morning. So I know that you have a lot of questions regarding the presentation, the video presentation. But before that, kahapon may nagtanong kung ano ba yung format, ang template na action research proposal. And that is according to DepEd Order number 16, Series 2017. And so let me show you first the outline, the suggested parts of an action research proposal, again, based on DepEd Order number 16, Series 2017. Okay? So, as you can see, the first part of the proposal is your context and rationale. Yes? And it will be followed by the action research questions, the proposed innovation, intervention, and strategy. And the fourth part is your action research methods, which includes your participants and or other source of information or data, and your data gathering methods, your data analysis plan. That's part of your fourth part of the action research proposal. And the fifth is your action research plan and timelines and cost estimates, part 6. Part 7 is plans for dissemination and utilization, and part 8 is references. Now, kung titingnan nyo ang proposal, you will be overwhelmed at may stress na kayo sa dami ng parts. Kasi kung gagawin nyo yan ng isahan lang, it would really give you the discomfort and sasakit talaga ang ulo nyo, hindi ang puso nyo. So, this time, we package this webinar series in such a way na you will be guided in a step-by-step process na hindi masyadong masakit sa ulo. Okay? That is why our episode 3 will just focus on the first 3 parts of your action research proposal. Why? Because these 3 parts should be aligned to each other, and if your first 3 parts ay tama, consequently, the next parts ay magiging madali ang alignment. So that's why we will just focus first on the first 3 parts. If perfect muna natin, you will be submitting your output on this, kasabay ng ating monitoring and evaluation form, and I'll be giving you feedback. Kasi di ba yung 4th episode natin will be on August 10, and that would give you enough time to think or to craft or to formulate your action research proposal gamit ang 3 parts lang muna. Okay, so that I can give you technical assistance. Kung tama na ba, okay na ba ang flow ng first 3 parts mo bago ka makasunod doon sa susunod na episode. Okay? So if you could observe, we are trying to deliver to you the package part by part. Okay? So focus muna tayo sa first 3 parts. Okay? So I know that you have listened or watched attentively to the video presentation at alam kong marami ng tanong na tumatakbo sa isip ninyo, and we are now willing to answer your questions regarding the first 3 parts of the action research proposal, including the title of an action research proposal. Okay? So Sir PJ, ano-ano na ba ang mga pwede nating sagutan dyan?
Yes po, Ma'am Che. So this question is really, kumaga bagay po talaga siya as a refresher question or the first question to answer today from Teacher Jersan Verdida Yator. Good morning. Ask ko lang po, what is the difference between action research and practical research, since action research primary goal is to solve practical problem. Thanks po.
Okay. Let us go back to the nature of action research. Of course, action research is ano nga yung action research? We focus on addressing a practical issue or problem. Now, depending on the nature or the focus of the practical research that you are going to conduct, then we can qualify that as an action research, although the term practical and action research, they are somewhat connected. So depending on the focus of the practical research that you're going to conduct and comparing that to the nature of an action research. Okay? But for a classroom research, action research, we are governed by the suggested format of Deped Order number 16, Series 2017. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ma'am Che. So going back also po, Ma'am Che, to the parts of the first three parts of the action research, di ba po, the important thing that they have to remember about action research is the third part, yung proposed
Yes.
innovation, intervention, and the strategy. Meaning po, Ma'am Che, kung meron ng part na yan, masasabi po nating action research yung ginawa nila.
Kasi 'di ba, yung action research, we want to effect change. Change. And we can only effect change if we do something. We do intervention, we do innovation, we improve our strategy, and those are our actions. Okay? So, yun yung Sir TJ.
Apo. Thank you so much, Ma'am Che. We also have another question here from Sir Daryl Cabasal Tamayo of Rondina Atendido National High School. Is there a standard length daw po on the content of each part?
Thank you so much, Sir Darrell, for the question. Actually, there is no such prescription as to the length or the number of words that you are going to write on those parts. What matters most is you will be able to meet all the required elements of each part. And it was discussed in the video what should be contained in each part. Okay, so yun ang magiging guide natin. And also DepEd Order number 16, Series 2017, presents to us a rubric for us to evaluate our action research proposal, but that will be presented in the 5th episode, which is Evaluating Action Research Proposal. But then, as you craft your first three parts, you may visit now DepEd Order number 16, Series 2017, so that you will know if the contents of your parts, of those parts, will already pass, will give you a passing rate of at least 70 points, so that you will be, your action research proposal will be approved. But then I want to emphasize, there is no prescription as to the length of the contents of each part of the action research proposal. Let us always be guided na ang mga parts ng ating action research proposal, kailangan lang silang align. Okay? And let us remember that you are doing your plan, because you will be the one to implement. Therefore, what's important is naiintindihan mo kung ano ang laman ng plano mo. Therefore, you should always consider that all the contents of those parts are within your knowledge at alam mo kung paano siya gagawin. Okay? So, that's the answer, Darrell. Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you so much po, Ma'am Che. Share ko lang po, our basic research proposal na sinubmit po sa region and approved at natapos na din po is less than 20 pages po. Less than 20 page basic research proposal. So, ibig sabihin talagang wala po yun sa length. Basta aligned and connection. Thank you so much, Ma'am Che. In relation to number also, Sir Jury Gastardo from Katayngan East, is there a minimum number of action research questions? Ma'am Che.
Thank you, Sir Jury. Good morning. For that question, there is no such issuance as to the limit on the number of research question. But some proponents gives 3 questions, action research question, 1 or 2. For me, 1 research question is enough because that will guide you in your process of finding answer to that action research question. But if you can present 3 action research questions, but see to it that the first action research question, the second, and the third are closely related to
to each other. Meaning, those are contributory in answering your question, your overall question or your main research question. Okay? So, yun, Sir PJ.
Okay. Salamat po. Still sa number po. What is the minimum number of pupil respondent in a school-based research for a Ma'am Merlisa Lecciones?
Hello, Ma'am Lecciones. As to the number of respondents, wala po tayong prescription kasi nga ikaw yung nakakaalam kung ano ang problema mo, ano ang scope, ilan ba ang ilan ba ang estudyante na kailangan mong bigyan ng intervention. So wala siyang limit kasi nga we need to be focused and specific as to the target or yes to the focus of your action research. So pwedeng so in your class you only have 5, you only have 4. But if you think you want to improve your practice by trying out a strategy to your whole class, therefore the whole class becomes the respondents or the participants to your study. But if your problem is about struggling readers or uh, about absenteeism or any other practical problem, then kung sino lang yung concern, yung may possible participation in your study, then sila lang yung i-identify mo na respondents. Ngayon, kung ang tinatanong mo ay buong school, okay, that will become now school-wide action research. Now, balik tayo dun sa, is it within your control? Is it within your competence, within your influence for you to cover the whole school as your, the students in the whole school as your respondents or participants to your study? Okay?
Ayun, clear po tayo doon as to the minimum number of pupil respondents. Next question po from Teacher XX. Nasaan si YY? Ma'am Che, APA style lang po ba applicable gamitin sa lahat ng educational type of research?
Sir Albert, that will be answered in our fourth episode. Okay, that will be answered in our fourth episode because that will be part of the references. We will talk about referencing in the fourth episode. Okay, so I will not preempt the discussion on the fourth episode. Medyo kalma-kalma lang muna tayo, Sir Albert. Siguro gumagawa na si Sir Albert kasi if you can still remember, ay sa FB pala, nag-post na si Sir Albert ng kanyang naisip na practical problem to be addressed. And nag-comment ako doon, siguro si Sir Albert ngayon ay nasa referencing na. Okay, so nag-double check na lang siya if his proposal complies with all the discussions in this webinar. So, Sir Alex, Sir Albert, you are on the right track. Okay, but regarding the referencing, we will discuss that on the fourth episode.
Okay, sige po. In relation to that po, Ma'am Che, there is a question from Teacher Prince Altrebtina or Albertina. Pwede po footnotes muna ang first 1 to 3 parts kasi po ang reference page is nasa last part na ng proposal.
Advanced talaga si Sir Albert. Actually, si Sir Albert, I personally know him because he is one of my teachers in my previous school. So, congratulations Sir Albert for trying out action research. As you go along with the writing of your action research proposal, just list down all your references. We don't have footnotes as part of the action research proposal. You will write all your references in the reference part. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Talagang lista-lista lang muna. Bawal muna ang magsingil. Sige po, pakilista lang po muna ng inyong references for parts 1 to 3. Sige po, some more questions regarding the 3 parts of action research proposal. Pag ano na mga questions, sige po. Nandito from Ma'am Juvie Alburo. Pwede po ba ang action research para sa car po? Bagan gulong ang pwede. Joke.
Ano ba ang car?
complete academic
Sa
requirements?
thesis po, guro.
Please clarify. Pwede po ba ang action research? Maybe he or she is talking about pwede po ba ang thesis? Academic research as a requirement for finishing a degree sa action research. Depende po sa institution ninyo. If the institution will accept action research as thesis, mas maganda. Okay? But of course, your institution requires different format. They have institutional format and requirement. And action research and DepEd has also its guidelines for you to follow.
Yes po. Thank you so much. So another question po in relation to number of words from Ma'am Julia Rapsing of San Pablo National High School. Kumusta po Ma'am Dida sa Kabukidan? Question po, may required number of words po ba as to the title?
Yes, some authors set a limit of up to 15 words in a title. Okay, 15 words in a title. But of course, in action research, we should just be guided by the elements that we have presented to you to complete to present your title, your action research title.
Ayun. Sige po. Another number po, Ma'am Che. May minimum number po ba ang review of related literature?
Ay, wow, okay. Anong ang pagkakaiba ng fundamental research sa action research? Kasi tayo, we want to improve our own practice. And we do a review of related literature for us to have deeper understanding about the problem that we are trying to solve. Okay? So ang pagbasa natin, ang pag-review natin ng related literature is for us to have an understanding, deeper understanding about the problem. And if you want to benchmark possible solutions to our problem, that would help us improve our professional practice. Because that is the ultimate goal of an action research. But fundamental researches, of course, we have learned in the first episode that the ultimate goal of fundamental research is to bridge the gap. Diba? To bridge the gap based on the literature available. So, in action research, we don't have limit or maximum number of literature review. What matters most is you are able to read literature which are contributory in your understanding of the problem at hand. Okay? So, hindi tayo ganun ka-stricto na dapat ilang RRL nga yung mga academic researches, 15 to 20. In action research, we just siguro mga 5, hindi naman kailangang marami siya. And you are just going to mention in your context and rationale that literature which is really related to your study. Okay?
Okay, ayun po. So, only on the context and rationale, they could mention related studies. So, from Ma'am Gloria Olivar of Gindawahan Elementary School, pwede po ba ang random sampling ang gagamitin para sa respondent?
Okay, random sampling na tayo. Excited na talaga sila. Depende po, ang sagot doon, initial na sagot, it depends upon the objective of your study or the action research that you want to answer. So, sa random sampling, you will know in the 4th episode kung kailan tayo gagamit ng random sampling. Kung anong method or approach in action research ang nagre-require ng random sampling. Okay? So, in the meantime, let us just focus first on our first 3 parts. Okay? So, thank you for that question.
Ayun. Another question po, Ma'am Che, from Ma'am Christy May Mago. Good morning po. In the review of related literature, do we also have to discuss the differences of the theories din po in relation to our study?
Yes, you may do so if you think you need to present that in order to surface the problem that you have identified. Okay? So, pwede yun. As you go along with the writing of your context and rationale, it would be better if, yun, okay lang yun na you will be presenting some theories and you're going to relate that to your study. Ang iwasan lang natin, marami tayong literature review, marami tayong theories na naisabay sa ating presentation, but then you cannot connect, you cannot establish the connection of those literature review and theories in your present study. Okay? Ang importante lang naman as discussed by the video that you will be able to establish connection between your context and rationale. Di ba? Yung context and rationale ninyo contains the why of your study. Andun lahat, ipapresent mo lahat ang problema, ano ba ang mga previous yung literature review mo na, lahat, the facts and figures, the historical background of your study, pwede mong i-present doon. Pero in writing your context and rationale, let us not be burdened by the target na dapat marami ang laman ng aking context and rationale. Again, let us write our context and rationale with that thing in mind that we need to present. We are just going to present to the reader of our paper the problem that we perceive. Now, we need to address the problem by including all those elements. Okay? So, yon. If you wish to include theories, yes, because if you believe it would add up to clarifying your proposal, then you can do so. And reading theories, reading literature review will really widen your perspective on the topic at hand.
Okay, talagang connection is the key now, hindi na PM. Sige po, from Sir Court Reason, John. Kailangan po ba muna ng approval ng SBO before we can create our action research? Or we can create our action research as long as we want to address such certain practical problems?
In our DepEd Order number 16 series 2017, of course, we are governed by those guidelines. In our division office, we have the protocol that all researches that will be conducted in the school, in the district, or division-wide, most especially that you will be dealing with the learners, the teacher and non-teaching personnel of the DO, for example, or the field. Of course, you need to seek approval from the school's division superintendent. And of course, your proposal must pass through the SDRC to check whether that particular action research is applicable or is allowable to be conducted in the field. Because of course, remember that we have considerations, the child protection policy, yung mga diniscuss ng Sir PJ kahapon. That is why every research undertaking in the field, because you'll be gathering data, that must pass through the SDRC so that we'll be able to evaluate whether that action research is allowable or not. Now, if you will be asking, can we conduct it without the approval? Definitely no. Okay? Well, anyway, as of now, the approval of your action research is, madali na lang yung process. As long as you will be able to follow all the elements required in each part. Pagdating sa initial screening, immediately I can give technical assistance or feedback. Being the secretariat, I can look into your paper, initial review your paper, and give you some feedback. Kasi kung nandun na yan sa SDRC, it will take time for you to So mas maganda ang initial na check na muna natin para sure tayo that somehow it will pass the evaluation of the SDRC. Okay?
Yun. So, kailangan talagang dumaan dito sa SDRC. From Ma'am Nuvi J. Andales, should we be needing division data? What do we exactly do to request for them from the SDO?
Okay. Division data is available, of course, in the office, and all you have to do is to request for the data. You write a letter of request addressed to the superintendent, and of course, that letter will be endorsed to the planning and research section if the data that you are needing ay nasa planning and research section. Kung sa ibang offices, then that will be given to that particular office. But then, if we're talking about division data, we need to ask permission from the superintendent as to the release or the sharing of that data. Pero depende naman sa data. If the data hindi naman siya ganun ka-confidential or what, you may approach the planning and research section, but generally, we need first the approval of the school's division superintendent.
Ayun, klaro po about the division data. From Teacher Joyla Samson, pwede po ba na ang basis ng proposal was the problem identified school year 2019 to 2020?
Um, Most of the proposals actually, they base their proposal on the performance of the learners from the previous school year. Okay? Let us take reading as an example. Kasi di ba sa pretest, the field area, the pretest for field area and the post-test by Feb or March, yun ang nagbibigay sa inyo ng indicator whether or not there is really a problem along reading. So, karamihan sa mga proposals doon naka-base. But of course, in the crafting of your proposal and in identifying your respondents or participants to the study, you are going to include the participants or the learners who will be actually become part of the study. But the problem, yung nakikita mong problem, most especially if it is already a perennial problem, then you may use the data in 2019-2020 to provide support to your context and rationale that there is really existing problem like this. That's why this school year 2020-2021, you are going to conduct this action research because you believe this is really an actionable or doable undertaking to solve the identified practical problem.
Ayun, the new normal has really presented areas na researchable. Sige po, some more questions? Bagan, busy na po sinda Ma'am Che sa pagasurat son parts 1 to 3 kaya isa-submit dayon yan. Anyway, a reminder po, kahit hindi po kayo ngayon mag-accomplish ng evaluation form for today, kasi August 10 pa naman po yung susunod na episode. So we are giving you enough time para talagang aligned and connected po ang 3 parts na inyong isa-submit. Sige, Miss MJ, do we have some more questions there? Ayun, could we submit multiple entry proposals? May pa si Ma'am Andales.
What do we mean by multiple entry proposals? More than one. More than one proposal, ano?
One teacher researcher po siguro Ma'am Che, 2 o 3 niya gusto i-submit. Grabe.
Well, depende sa focus of the study. But if you are asking about a grant or the birth, of course, one at a time ang ano natin. And it was mentioned by Sir PJ yesterday that if you avail already of the birth, hindi mo siya pwedeng hanapan pa ng ibang benefactor to finance your action research. So, to answer Sir Novi J, one proposal at a time, so that you will have focus. Remember po na the purpose of that is to improve your profession practice. Baka po yung isa mo pang proposal ay related dito sa una. Baka pwede mo nang tingnan mo kung ano ang resulta ng unang attempt mo in your action research. Then after that, perhaps you may create another proposal. Diba, we have discussed in episode 1 and episode 2 that action research is a cyclical process. So you have this problem, you initiated an intervention or an innovation, you look into the result or the effect, you try to share that with your colleagues, but then the result, kunwari, hindi pa siya ganun kaganda as you expect, then you may devise a plan, then implement ulit ng plan, then measure the effectiveness or the flow of the action, the effect of the action, share again with your colleagues or anybody who can give you comments and suggestions, deliberate it with them. Then after that, create another plan. Okay? So, mas magandang you follow the spiral steps para hindi ka bombarded with the, yung marami kang iniisip kung sobra sa isa ang bibigyan mo ng focus na actual research.
Ayun. Kaya naman po talaga Ma'am Che, hindi po advisable to have more than one. More
Yes,
than
Sir
one
PJ.
jowa.
Yes. Opo. So, kailangan talaga
Sige,
isa-isa lang.
one at a time. Okay, some more questions po from Sir Ramil Samonte. What are the requirements in making action research for approval?
What are the requirements? Of course, the main requirement is your action research proposal with complete parts. And there will be annexes. There will be annexes as provided by Depth Order number 16, Series 2017. And the soft copy of that is available. Perhaps, maybe I will just share it with you, pero para hindi na kayo mag-type ulit, yung sa mga proponent information, mga images superior consent, it's the soft copy is available, but it is also contained in Depth Order 16 Series 2017. By the way, my guidebook, the simplified guidebook that I have shared with you in episode 1, it contains all the discussions that we have, that we will be having in the rest of the episodes. Everything that I am saying, I am discussing, is all in all of them are included in my book, including Depth Order number 16, Series 2017 as one of the annexes. Also in that book, nandun yung sample action research proposal. Okay? So, you have all the guide para sa paggawa ng yung action research proposal. Kaya nga siya tinawag na Simplified Guidebook in Action Research. But then, you may download Depth Order number 16, Series 2017 from the DepEd website.
Okay, thank you po Ma'am Che. So talagang ang solusyon, isa sa mga solusyon ay yung guidebook. Yung DepEd Order number 16 series of 2017. And aside from that Ma'am Che, di ba po, would it be possible yung 17 teacher researchers yung may approved research proposals and for funding po by the Basic Education Research Fund. Kung kilala po nila yung teacher researcher na yon, pwede din po silang magtanong sa kanila about po sa research proposal.
Yes. I just don't have the list. Baka may makalimutan ako na kung sino yung mga 17 researchers na they have already signed the memorandum of agreement for their birth grant for release later. Okay? I will not mention names kasi baka may makalimutan ako, but those 17 sila yung mga nakasurvive doon sa 44 na nag-attend ng intensive training in conducting action research last August 2019. And they now have the approved proposal with the MOA, and they are going to conduct their action research. As I have said, yung proposal nila na nagawa is for the old normal, and they are given the freedom by the PPRD to deviate from the plan because of our new normal. Okay? So yun ang dapat, hindi yung kung ano yung nakalagay sa plano, yun talaga ang gagawin. As we have emphasized, you do action research to answer your current status or situation.
Okay, yon. So deviation is also allowed in case as the need arises. So klaro po yon. Sige po. Baga naka-memorandum na din naman po yun, Ma'am Che, di ba? Yung 17 teacher researchers.
Yes, memorandized na yun ako.
Sige po. So next question from Teacher Benice. Good morning po. Is it possible to conduct a study focused on teachers' welfare such as health and ergonomics related?
Ay, wow. Okay. Very nice question. But my question is, if that's the focus of your study, again, is it within your control? Kaya mo ba siyang bigyan ng intervention at your level, intervention, innovation, or strategy. Kaya mo ba siyang bigyan ng action? Okay? If your answer is yes, then it can be a subject for an action research. Okay? So kung sa teacher's welfare, baka it will fall under basic research. Depende. Depende po sa presentation. Basta, let us always be guided that an action research ay may action. Okay? Action, we are referring to your innovation, your intervention, or strategy. By the way, most of the action researches that we are advocating is more on reactive side. Reactive, meaning we see a problem and we react to it by addressing or giving intervention. Okay? Karamihan. Ang iba naman ay pumapasok sa innovative way. So, nagbibigay sila ng innovation to test, to improve their practice. So, yon. Pero mas karamihan ang ginagawa ay more on a reactive side. Reactive again, may problema, you react to it by conducting action research, by providing intervention. That's why the sample that I have given in the video presentation, nakafocus siya sa reactive type of an action research. Okay? By the way, baka magtanong kayo, sa classroom lang ba, sa DepEd lang ba pwedeng magkaroon ng action research? The answer is action research is a social research, meaning in the other field, they are also conducting action research because action research again is participatory and we focus on effecting change. So may mga agencies or sectors tayo that nagkakandak din ng action research but in their own context. And please take note that everything that we discuss here are all about nakafocus lang sila sa action research in DepEd context. Okay? So, if there are somebody watching na hindi sa loob ng DepEd, a disclaimer lang, everything that we are discussing here, they are just focused on the context of the Department of Education sa classroom. So, yun.
Ayun. Sige po. Kaya more likely, karamihan about teaching learning process ang magiging proposals. Sige, more likely po. Anyway, we are not limiting, di ba, Ma'am Che?
Yes, Sir PJ.
Sige po. Another question from Sir Dante Briol. Will we not have problems with our respondents, especially now that we have no face-to-face classes?
Yes, very nice question. Yan talaga, maliban sa dati mo ng practical problem o problema, dagdag pa ang ating new normal. So, challenge talaga ito sa atin. Paggawa ninyo ng proposal, may mga nag-submit ngayon last week and the other week ng action research proposal. The setting, ang context ng kanyang proposal is parang walang COVID-19, parang walang pandemic. The context is under the old normal. So immediately, my comment is, please think of an action research proposal which can be conducted under the new normal. Okay? Under the new normal.
For your information,
If you can hear my announcement po kasi sa office, na you can hear because we have the audio. May public address system ang dito.
Sige po, thank you for that announcement. So sana po narinig din po ng ating mga participants sa ngayon. Anyway, let's continue answering your questions. Ms. MJ, do we have questions? Sige, habang naghahanap pa po si Miss MJ, we have here greetings coming from our teacher participants. From Teacher Criseline Tudtod Aplacador. Good morning, watching from Cabangrayan Elementary School, PUV Corpus District. Sige po, yung PUV Corpus, kumbaga ilan sa mga municipality or kasali sa mga municipality na wala pang COVID cases. So sana po you remain COVID-free. O tama ba? Naton data?
Verify your
Batik
data,
naman
eh.
eh.
Yes.
Sige po, please verify our data.
Verify and
Another.
validate the data.
Opo, research pati ni Ma'am Che.
Yes.
Another from teacher Cheryl Hernandez Sano. Good morning, watching from Talib Elementary School, Aroroy West District. In relation to COVID cases naman po sa Aroroy, we are happy to know that there are patients na naka-recover na po. And they were given 10,000 cash assistance. Sige po, balik tayo sa guidebook, Ma'am Che, from Teacher Irene Torreta. How to avail po the guidebook.
Um, Hello, Ma'am Irene. Just PM me. PM is the key. Message ka lang po sa akin for possible answers to your question. Okay? And you may also text, you may send a message through my mobile number, 0975 427 7573.
Sige po, we would like to remind
May
Ma'am Che
nakita pa
na
akong questions. May nakita pa akong question, Sir PJ. Pwede bang collaborative work ang paggawa ng action research? Yes, definitely yes. As discussed in the first episode, collaborative research is encouraged, most especially if the problem that you're facing is also true to your co-teachers, and collaborating with them to to give the intervention would be helpful. Maganda din yung collaborative research because marami kayo, at most 3 kayong mag-iisip kung paano siya gagawin. Okay?
sige. Opo, Ma'am Che, talagang mas maganda yung may karamay. Karamay sa pasakit. Anyway, but more than that, talagang may makukuha tayong fulfillment in research. So from Sir Mark Anthony Cos, would it be okay if the proposal that I will be submitting is not aligned to the practical problem I submitted in yesterday's evaluation? I am thinking of another problem. Si Sir Cos pala yun. Sige po, Ma'am Che.
Yes, yes sir. Kasi nga, di ba, kahit nga yung research title natin, sabi nga natin, it is a working title until we are done with our proposal. So same with your identified practical problem. May mga nakita kasi ako doon, honestly, na broad, meaning it's not yet specific. So as we go along with the discussion, and as you craft your proposal, marirealize mo na, ay, wala pala akong maisip na solusyon dito or intervention. Kaya ko ba itong gawin? Or is it within my competence to conduct? Kaya ko ba itong bigyan ng intervention at my level? So yun, you may change your practical problem, your focus of study as you go along with the crafting or the writing of your actual research proposal. I just included that in the evaluation form yesterday for me to have an idea, di ba, research tayo. I want to measure kung ano ang level ng understanding nyo kahapon regarding identifying the practical problem that you may address through an actual research. Okay? So, yun. Pwede pang magbago, sir. Hindi pa naman siya final.
Yun, sige. So you still have the chance. Another question coming from Ma'am Leticia Abejero. Hello, Ma'am. Andito si Ma'am. Good AM po, Ma'am Che. May corrected research proposal na po ako. Pwede pa po bang mag-submit?
Si Ma'am Leticia is one of the participants
Yes
during
po.
the intensive training on actual research. Yes, ma'am. Welcome pa rin yung proposal. Okay?
Okay, from Teacher Leia, what types of action research is much better to conduct, especially by this time? Is it good to conduct?
Pandakit na.
Ay, sige po.
Yun nga yung challenge natin. Okay? Marami nang nagtanong, bakit daw magkakandak ng research amidst pandemic? Kasi di ba, kapag may problema, saka tayo magkakandak ng research. Ang question, may problema ba tayo ngayon? Definitely
Marami.
yes. Yan, marami. So, paano ba natin siya susolusyonan in a systematic way? And of course, we are now advocating action research. Huwag niyong problemahin yung, kumbaga, simplify the focus of your study. Do not burden yourself in solving the problem of your school. Just focus on your own practice. Okay? Sa sariling practice mo lang. At para hindi ka masyadong mamroblema, focus on the practical problem na kaya mong solusyonan na naka-work from home ka, for example, or you are in school but your learners are not around. Kasi wala tayong face-to-face as of now. Okay? So, challenging ang gagawin yung proposal kasi it must be suited to our current situation. Okay? So, excited na ako to see the proposals kung paano nyo ba aatakihin si COVID-19. Paano ba natin lalampasan si COVID-19? And supporting the call of the department that education must continue. And for me, research must never die with COVID-19.
Ayun po, talagang si COVID-19 ang kalaban natin ngayon. And for sure, Ma'am Che, marami pong interventions, strategies, or innovations na maiisip po ang ating teacher researchers sa ngayon. So yun po yung dapat nating pag-isipan. Okay, another
Yes, sir
question po
P.
from... Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir PJ. Actually, if you try to browse the internet, may mga nakita na akong mga researches, actual researches, articles about the the pandemic. May mga nag-conduct na actually ng mga researches amidst this pandemic. You can benchmark, you can read all those published articles kasi syempre wala pa namang printed na makikita tayo ngayon. So you try to access internet and look for articles or researches conducted along along issues and concerns during this pandemic. Marami kayong makikita ang mga idea na pwede niyong i-benchmark. Again, kung magtatanong kayo, pwede po bang gayahin ang ginawa ng proponent or ng researcher na yon? Definitely yes. You just cite the particular researcher. Kasi nga, sabi nga natin, action research is unique. Unique siya, meaning kung ginawa niya to sa kanyang lugar, sa kanyang school, you can also do it, but you are going to contextualize. Iba ang kanyang respondents, iba ang kanyang environment, iba ang kanyang physical, So therefore, you can do it, you can benchmark, you can reconduct or yes, replicate the study in your school. Of course, you are going to contextualize. Kasi yan ang beauty ng action research o ng research that we need to disseminate yung mga nag-upload ngayon sa internet ng kanilang action research results. That's their way of disseminating or sharing the result. Bakit kailangan i-share? Para makapagbigay ng idea sa iba na nangangailangan ng enlightenment along that particular area. So kayo, before you make or you write your context and rationale, I would suggest that you read first literatures na na-publish o makikita ninyo yung accessible lang sa inyo. Magbasa hanggang sa you will only realize later na mas napaliwanag pa ang understanding mo about the problem because of your reading. Okay? So, wag kang magsimula ng context and rationale mo na hindi pa clear sa'yo kung ano ang problema mo. Because if you will do it, you will be frustrated because you will not be able to give connection. Wala kang mailalagay na connection between your proposal and the problem that you want to address. So, yun ang tip. Review related literature, magbasa ng mga articles about the COVID-19 pandemic, mga experiences ng iba't ibang lugar. Then you may incorporate that. Baka meron silang strategy na pwede mong gamitin in addressing your practical problem. Okay? So, yun.
Yon, Ma'am Che, that means that we will be happy seeing zero response po doon sa evaluation form later. Kasi dapat pinag-iisipan, nagbabasa
Yes.
po before coming up with that context and rationale, etc. Another question po, Ma'am Che, from Sir John J. Lim. In the area of the professional enhancement and community-based development, what is the best way of filling this gap to have an effective action research proposal?
Professional development, parang nanonosebleed ako sa question ni Sir John J. Lee.
Again, beyond po ito sa
In the area of the
teaching
professional
learning.
enhancement apo, and community-based development. But of course, we have emphasized in the first episode that, di ba, yung pinaka-end user ng lahat ng undertaking natin, although the ultimate goal is the improvement of your practice, but then the end user, of course, are our learners. Di ba, threefold ang benefit ng action research, your professional improvement of your professional practice, of course, and mag-benefit ang learners because of your improved practice, mag-improve ang kanilang performance. And the school and the community as a whole will benefit from the, the results of your study. So, i-connect natin ang professional enhancement sa community-based development. Medyo ano na siya, pero somehow it is related. Okay? So, filling this gap, perhaps ang community will benefit because sino ba ang mga members ng community? Nandun yung parents, right? Nandun yung parents where the student lives sa family nila. Therefore, if maganda ang naging resulta ng action research, nag-improve sa learner, pagbalik ng learner sa kanyang community, then the good result of the action research will be translated to being good community member of the learner. So doon siguro tayo magkakaroon ng connection. Okay na po ba, Sir John J? Okay, thank you
Siguradong
for
okay po yan.
the mind-boggling question of Sir John J. Lee.
Okay. Sige po. Thank you so much for that question, Sir John J. Some more questions? Sige, para hindi naman po tayo bombarded ng questions, shout out po muna to all the teachers of Kabangkalan ES who are watching today. Enjoy po, and we do hope that you have learned something from this episode. Here is our question from teacher Deji Terana. If we replicate the study that was uploaded in the internet, Ma'am Che, do we still need to ask letter permission to the author of the research paper? Thank you po.
The fact that the paper is uploaded, meaning it is published, okay, na-upload siya. All you need to do is to capture the part that you want to use in your study, but do not forget to cite the author of the paper. Okay? Although there are some published articles na nangangailangan ng ma-access mo siya, but with permission from the author or the owner. So depende sa article that you will be accessing. But of course, let us not forget to mention the author of the article or of the paper that we will be citing or will be using in our proposal.
Ayun, sige po. So, citation is really important po. Okay, some more questions? Kanina po, Ma'am Che, meron po akong nabasang comment. Sabi niya about sa sa guidebook na kung pwede daw po soft copy and sila na po yung bahala sa printing.
Actually, let me elaborate. The guidebook is may copyright siya with ISBN, and the book is in the hand of my publisher. Okay? Nasa publisher siya actually, and if ever you want to avail of the book, I want the list of the names ng gustong mag-avail so that I can place the order from my publisher. Okay? So, yun kasi may ISBN siya. We cannot give you the soft copy and i-print nyo lang because it is all yes the authority to print and to publish the book nasa aking publisher. Okay, I am just the author at kumuha ako ng publisher, siya nang bahala mag-publish ng book. But then again, we can request for copies, of course, kasi sa akin yon. We can request for copies. That's why those who wants to avail, you may send me a message. And I will give you the details kung paano nyo ma-access. Actually, I have prepared sort of a order slip or a Google form na doon nyo ilalagay ang details if you want to to avail of the book, but I cannot do it here. I cannot publish it here because the book is a personal book. It is a personal book, and I have a publisher, so we need to follow the protocol. Okay? So ang gagawin lang natin, if you want to avail, I can give you the link and you place your order, then isahan lang po ang pag-order ko dun sa publisher para isahan din ang pag-release dito. Okay? So, the book will be available third week of August kung mag-order, depende sa order natin. Okay? So, thank you so much for the interest to avail of the book. Actually, ano yan, 1 year in the making yung book. Dumaan siya ng maraming process of course until na dumating yung approval of the copyright and the ISBN. Kaya, it is now in the hands of the publisher. Okay? Thank you. Hindi
Okay,
siya
so
yung...
yun.
ah,
Ma'am Che, copyrighted po talaga siya, kaya yun po. Klaro po, Ma'am Che, yung explanation. So, shout out din po, Ma'am Che, we have a viewer from Negros Occidental.
wow.
Para si Teacher Halili Lohera. So, parang ano po dyan sa kanila?
Nakita ko ang pangalan ni Sir Andrew. Hi, Sir Andy. Good
Iyon.
morning. Thank you for watching. Si Sir Andy ang aming angel sa PPRD. Hi, Sir Andy. Thank you so much for supporting our webinar series. And we are happy to see na dito ka nanonood sa amin. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you din po, Sir Andrew. Bagan may good news po ata, Ma'am Che.
Baka may good news mamaya. Mag-aasa ka po, Sir Andy. Excited si Sir PJ.
Sige po, another question from for us, teacher, researcher. Are there still an unethical and ethical standards in writing the action research po? Just want to know for us to ensure that we are following the prescribed standards. Teacher Erica Alzado from Iniwaran Integrated School, San Pascual North District.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for that question. Of course, in action research, in classroom action research, we are dealing with learners. And of course, our learners are protected by, ano nga yun, Child Protection Policy and Data Privacy Act. So there are really considerations in crafting your plan in such a way that you will not be violating any of those laws or issuance regarding the welfare of our learners who will be the respondents of your study. So in the writing of your proposal, please observe ethical standards.
Yun. So clear po yan, Teacher Erica from San Pascual North District. Kumusta po dyan sa San Pascual? Sige. Some more questions. So sige po, shout out to Madam Noime Prudenciado. Good morning po, Madam. Thank you for watching. And announcement po, to avail the guidebook, please PM Ma'am Che Bermudo. So PM is the key.
Baka mag-DTI tayo niya ng PMS the key.
Opo. From ano po, Sir Reynaldo de la Serna, Ma'am Che, maybe one of the problems amidst pandemic is the modular classes or modular learning, because based on the implementation of Shield 2 program in our division, parents find difficulties in answering the activities. Will it be considered as a practical problem in the action research? Interesting, Ma'am Che.
Okay. Ang ganda ng tanong ni Sir de la Serna. Balik tayo sa Shield 2. We are lucky in SDO Masbate Province because nagkaroon na tayo ng parang dry run kung paano ba ikakandak ang modular as the modality, the printed modules, and distance printed module, distance learning, distance education using the printed modules. Now, the feedback regarding the use of modules in trying out our learners to continue learning, medyo syempre nagkaroon ng maraming challenges. Ang isa dyan sa sinabi ni Sir, Parents parents find difficulty in answering the activities. Parents
Okay.
talaga ang mahirapan sumagot sa activities. Well, siguro that's part of the fact that the parents really are assisting their children. But the question is, paano mag-assist si parent na kung may siya mismo ay challenge din when it comes to that particular competency. Ngayon, we cannot deny that fact and hindi natin yan pwedeng talikuran because that is an existing fact at yan talaga ang totoo. Comes 2020-2021 school year na as of now, meron tayong ang pinaka lang sa atin ngayon ay modular printed module because wala pa tayong hindi pa allowed ang face-to-face. So those are challenges that will confront you as teachers at kapag ka may challenge, may problema. Okay? So, yun ang pwede niyong pasukan in the crafting of your action research proposal. Okay? Para kung ang problema niyo parents, hindi marunong, hindi naman pwedeng ang parents ang turuan ninyo because it will take time. Ano ba ang tamang gawin? Just para lang mairaos ang school year 2020-2021 na hindi tumitigil ang learning. Okay. So challenge yan sa inyo kasi kayo ang nakakaalam ng inyong mga sitwasyon sa kanya-kanyang lugar. So ang pinaka-guide nyo lang is that if there is a practical problem, then you think of an intervention through an action research. Kahit gaano kasimple ang intervention, basta may action, may intervention, that is an action research. Okay? So, ngayon, lahat tayo ay bombarded ng issues and concerns because of this pandemic. So, lahat tayo ay nangangapa, but then, let us put ourselves in a steady position na kahit sa maliit na bagay o maliit na paraan, we will be able to help the department in facing the challenge in our little way o kung ano man ang pwede natin gawin. Okay? So, yun Sir PJ.
Yun, totoo talaga po yan, Ma'am Che. So, speaking of SHIELD program, flex lang po natin. That is the project po of SDO Masbate Province under the leadership of our SDS, Ma'am Nene Marioles. And congratulations din po sa Curriculum Implementation Division led by Ma'am Dorothy Daniel. And of course, sa Education Program Supervisors and other personnel involved po in that SHIELD program. So Ma'am Che, di ba po, from that program, makakahugot po yung ating
Yes.
teacher researcher ng intervention strategy or innovation in their own context.
Yes, Sir PJ. Actually, pwede na nga kayong gumawa ng proposal kasi kung wala tayong SHIELD 2, wala pa kayong idea, hindi nyo pa makikita yung concrete na problema or challenge ng modular. But then in SDO Masbate Province, you have already the concrete experience kung ano ba ang mangyayari kapag modular, fully modular. So with that, you may use your experience or the data that you will be presenting out of your implementation of SHIELD 2 in crafting your proposal for school year, for the opening of classes. Mas mapalad tayo because you have already the basis of presenting your problem. Ngayon, kung akong tatanungin ninyo, ano ma'am Che ang gagawin namin kasi nga mahirap i-conduct ang modular. It will be you who will think of a solution or an intervention. Paano mo yan gagawin? Sabi ko kanina, magbasa, collaborate with your co-teachers, deliberate the issue, di ba? Uso na masugat ang group chats, and you may also experiment doing meeting using Google Meet among yourselves in the school for you to deliberate ano ba ang magandang gawin comes school year 2020-2021, most especially na sa SHIELD 2, marami tayong na-encounter na challenges, paano ba natin sila susolusyonan or i-improve? How will you improve the way you use or you implement modular learning, distance learning to your learners.
Ayun. So talagang meron na po tayong magiging basis. So good luck po at for sure we will really have so many action research proposals, Ma'am Che. Good
Yes.
luck po, Ma'am Che.
Alam niyo ba yung after effect nito, after effect ng webinar series, there will be a lot of research proposals that would need attention and focus in checking. But then it's part of my KRA, it's my call at saka gusto din namin yan because now we are committed to course to sustain the culture of research in our division because as challenged by Sir Emil, we need to share the result of your study and siguro it would be another undertaking, uh, research undertaking in our division comes siguro end of the school year, uh, highlighting the researches that you have conducted. Okay?
Ayun. Talagang naghahanap po ng pagkakaabalahan. Sige po, Miss MJ. Do we have questions there? So habang naghahanap pa po, good morning to Teacher Ruby Del Rosario of Canumay Elementary School, Claveria South District. Ganon din po kay Ma'am Irene Ablaza ng Andres Naval ES, PUB Corpus District. Sige po. Ayun, Sir Alejandro Palapar who is still watching at San Pascual, Masbate. Parang Ma'am Che, wala na pong questions? Siguro
Yes.
busy na po mag-draft san in the 3 parts na isa-submit. Base niyan sa alas 5 may submission na po sa evaluation form.
Or baka nagpalit na ng site na ina-access, baka nag-Google na ng mga action researches conducting amidst the pandemic. Okay, so posibleng mangyari yun, Sir PJ. Okay,
Ayun.
so kung wala nang tanong, I just would like to appreciate kung meron man tayo diyang mga PSDSS, the school heads who are with us in this webinar series because your support kailangan in this undertaking in uh, giving assistance or support to your teachers who will be conducting action research in the next school year. So, and of course, our school heads are signatories to the proposal, to the approval page, and also our public schools district supervisors. I know that they are also interested, and I know that some of them are listening to us, watching us right now. Uh, your support to the researchers in your respective districts will really mean a lot in this particular in this crisis that we are facing. So with that, thank you in advance for the possible support that you can extend to our researchers. Okay? So um, wala na sigurong tanong. Again, maraming salamat sa mga uh, nananatiling interesado. Kagabi marami pa akong mga ka-chats, mga ka-text because of their interest to learn more about action research. Okay? So, um, for the closing, let me give you this. Okay, our reminders for the participants. Again, I want to emphasize this is an output-based research undertaking. Kung meron tayong 2,500 actually, 2,500 plus na registrants, I know that there will be some who cannot make it to the end. But then, we are encouraging all of you to really finish the webinar series. Because if you can do it, you will really find that satisfaction and fulfillment. I tell you, kapag ka nakatapos kayo ng isang action research undertaking in your school, you can never describe the fulfillment that you will have because of that undertaking. Okay? So, you are required to accomplish the monitoring and evaluation form for episode 3, and the link is flashed in the screen. bit.ly/research webinar eval 3. Okay. But then, as Sir PJ said, wag muna kayong mag-upload, wag muna kayong mag-accomplish because you will still be writing your first three parts because that will be part of the entry or the items that you're going to upload in the monitoring and evaluation form. So your task is to write and submit to the link dun sa M&E form the context and rationale of your identified problem, action research questions, the innovation, intervention, and strategy na naisip ninyo. Ngayon, if you ask me, kailangan ba talaga ma'am na perfect na ang i-upload namin? Of course, please try your best na you will be able to present your context and rationale, action research question, innovation, intervention, and strategy na aligned sila dun sa problemang na-identify. But then, we are not expecting a perfect output, most especially sa mga beginners. Don't be afraid to upload yung nakayanan yung output. What matters most is your willingness to learn and to share with us, to show us that you have done something out of the webinar series. Okay? So, yun ang inyong output for this webinar series, this episode, third episode of the webinar series. Okay? So, with that, wala nang tanong siguro, Sir PJ. Okay, wala na. So with that, again, gusto kong pasalamatan ng lahat ng naging party ng episode 3, our beloved EPS from PPRD, and our course, our superintendency, and the rest of the people behind the scene, our technical assistants here, and ating mga kagrupo dito sa SGOD, and of course, to all of you who are showing support to this webinar series. Once again, maraming salamat and good morning.
Okay, thank you so much po, Ma'am Che. Good morning po and congratulations. So virtual hug daw po according to Teacher Israel Moran. Sige, so with that, we've been shed light, we have been captured by the camera, and we have taken action, and we will continue to research. This is Lights, Camera, Action Research Webinar Series 2020, and this was the episode 3, Getting Started in the Action Research. So this has been your host, Paul Joan Blancaver. Good morning. God bless and keep safe.